urban development. Let's say we site them properly, right? Let's say they're oriented the right solar direction. Let's say they're in the city, and let's say just by luck the views are good. So lucky for us, right? The views are in good shape, right? So we go to the typical floor plan. We've satisfied the market studies. We've got the unit base, we've got the program. The unit sizes are all correct. Maximize efficiency, whatnot. Each unit has interior and exterior faces. It's got balconies. It's standard. We see this all over the building, right? So the building at the ground plane is connected, right? Whether it's a podium, it's a parking podium, or retail podium, but it's connected to the ground plane, which connects you to the street. So it's got all the typical things that you would expect. There's a drop-off, there's parking access, there's a lobby with street access. You have properly designed elevator instruction and life safety components, right? And then you have your basic amenities, like I mentioned before. You got a fitness center, you got a social hall, you got a function room. And let's go on, we'll go on a limb. Let's say you have even a wine bar, something underneath, right? But again, all are cookie cutter. And let's say there's two outdoor gathering spaces. We talked about that before. There's one on the podium. You have your commercial podium, maybe it's a garden. And then you have a roof deck. So that's another area that you can do that. So let's say we line the retail street. The street's lined with retail. We bring a little bit of people in there and then connect that to the ground. So very simple. This is a very straightforward high-rise residential development. You see that anywhere on the road. You go to Manila, you go to places. So some of the things that we talked about. So how can we improve that? Now, what are the things that we just talked about? So let's take the same project. Let's go back to the floor plan. Right? Let's apply the variation, and we can bring the floor plan apart. And we'll separate. We got more exterior exposure. We can bring more natural ventilation, more natural daylight. Let's say, we've worked with the city planners. So the city planners give us more FAR to do some indoor balcony spaces that are really usable, not just like a little balcony that hangs off the edge, like an indoor-outdoor room. You can put a table, you can have couches, you can enjoy the outdoor environment, right? Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's move even further. Let's add some sky terraces. And these are not just little terraces. We're talking raising it maybe 7-8 meters off the ground, having a good meter of planting. You can have trees in there. It's landscaped, and it's all really nice. And what if we even go even further? We design a platform, and we connect the two towers someplace. So, what does that do? That actually creates a second open space for residents, but they don't have to go all the way to the ground now. So now you're talking about vertical living, but you're living, you can provide the same type of natural connection to the natural environment up at the ground level. Let's keep going. Okay, so typical street retail, front loaded, just going back. So now we're going to change the podium. We're going to make the podium a true mixed-use destination. Sort of like a mini mall. There's, bring people through there. There's retail, there's shopping, there's dining. And you're not only bringing, now it's a destination that others will come. So it's not just for people that live in the building. It's a desk, people will actually come to this. And when we talked earlier about infrastructure, working together with planners and infrastructure. So what if there's a subway next to it? And we somehow can work with the team to get a connection directly into our building. And that strengthens the connection from the building into the city even more. Right? You're bringing people directly into it. So again, some of these concepts are not really groundbreaking. You talked to all the architects here, you talked to Jojo, and then these are things you've seen and done before. But they are still improvements to what we typically see. So having seen some of this in firsthand, I strongly advise people to go to Singapore, go walk around. You know what you do? You pretend that you're a buyer. You get a realtor and say, I want to go buy it, I want to see these units. And you can go tour all these units and ask them to see the amenities. And I can do this all the time. Because then you can go and see the units themselves. But having seen these kinds of things makes you really wonder why we continue to see just these regular buildings that get put up. That to me don't incorporate any of the basic necessities that I think a high-rise building can have to improve the quality of life. So, I think, even with just some slight modifications, we can actually make a building better. And finally, we're talking a little bit about vertical living, vertical cities, and, connecting people back to the ground. Now, currently, most towers, even if they have sky gardens, you have to go back down to the ground for connectivity. Now, I'm suggesting, what if we bring the ground plane back up? So what if we actually bring the ground plane up into the sky, and you have another level of connectivity at a higher point in the tower? Now, obviously there's concerns, right? How do you control security? access? How do you know, between the residents and the public, how's the retail going to survive? And clearly these are good answers, or good questions. And I agree, from a singular standpoint, if you're looking at one building, very difficult to do, right? But what if you look at this on a global scale, and you talk to your neighbors, and you work with city planners, and you work with developers, and you start to connect with other buildings. So for example, I can live in my building, walk down the garden on the level 40, I can grab something to eat, and I can walk across the street through a hallway to my house. And then you can take that a step further and you start building a series of networks. Now obviously this is hypothetical, this is just a talk, right? You know, it's going to take a lot to actually do that, but you know, if you think of the Jetsons, right? Everybody knows the Jetsons, right? So anyways, you know, in the future, who knows, right? You never know what's going to happen. But the whole idea, to me, I think the idea of connecting vertically requires us to also connect horizontally, creating multiple levels of activity in a tower, not just at the ground plane. So I think, in closing, you know, I think this approach requires 3 significant shifts in our thinking about higher access. So number 1, bringing the residential tower down to the human scale. You know, really adapting. What do people need? What are the basic necessities that can help my life be better? And rather than go to a room and have a little small window, you know, how can, you know, those are things that we can work together through design to improve. Number 2 is acknowledging that the hardware, the design, and the software, the programming, you got to work hand in hand. It's not just doing the design. You got to work with others because you can't do it by yourself. And number 3, residential, as in other many sectors, branding partnerships, stakeholder collaboration is essential in meeting the needs of the market. Again, that's working together with others. So, in closing, you know, while we don't know what the future is in store, I think, you know, I want to say the next generation of people, they're more conscientious about their consumption. They're more demanding in terms of the quality and multidimensional, the criteria for their spaces, their products, and their experiences. So the old models that we know of aren't going to work for that much longer. So I think we got to think of new ways to do that. So we can, you know, continue just to do what we do, and we can turn our talents and focus on developments that are responsive, responsible, and, you know, leading to a higher quality of living for residents. So that's all I have for today. I'm sorry it took so long.